For our next deep dive, we're not travelling at all far from the Shoreham Upper Beeding area. I've left the fields so that you can see where we are. About a mile to the southeast, we come to Sompting, Lancing and Worthing. The approximately triangular area we're going to look at is steeped in ancient history. A spectacular Bronze Age hoard was found here, and there are numerous bowl barrows on the escarpment here, directly above Sompting Cross Dyke, which is considerably over a mile long and spans the whole of this area. These represent only a small number of the prehistoric sites in this area. The Sompting story starts in July 1990, when this triple inline dumbbell appeared in the corner of this field. Only 100 metres from where 17 late Bronze Age socketed axe heads were found in 1946. Perhaps there is a nod to this find in the design. June 1992 saw this lovely ringed circle with broken rings appear the night after the larger circle to its northwest. At 130 feet in diameter, it was the largest formation to date. The nearby disused chalk pit is known as Hill Barn Pit and is an important geological feature on the Chalk Downs because the exposed chalk reveals a deposit layer of what is known as Tarrant chalk. This has provided the opportunity to recover some important fossils. We're now going to jump 24 years into the future to 2016, where we can see a gigantic scar running across this field. This scar runs across the entire area and is the high voltage cable from the huge offshore wind farm. From its landfall in Lancing to the substation at Twynham, it temporarily obliterated 16 miles of countryside. Two days later, this appeared south of Sompting. Unfortunately, we never got around to visiting it, and there is some debate about whether or not it was made by some locals. But it's included because a triangular triplet with large central circle appeared in the same field a year later. The central circle was 65 feet across, and a nice view was obtainable from the small block of flats on the edge of the field. 16 days after that, on the 23rd of June, a lovely Celtic cross appeared, only 25 feet from overhead high voltage cables that run across this field. Interestingly, this formation has caused some controversy amongst archaeologists. In this part of Sussex, there is a missing section of Marbury's Roman Road number 153. No one has ever been able to work out where it went. However, recent Google Earth images, like this one from 2015, show a faint line across this field. This has in turn sparked debate that the missing section of road is here. and that the Google Earth image from 2001 is the earliest aerial photo of it. But going back to our crop formation from 1993, we can see the same line even more clearly underneath the formation. So I threw this photo into the debate, saying that this was the earliest known photo. And in fact, at the time it appeared, the farmer told us that it was a water pipe that crossed the field and not a Roman road. Needless to say, my input to the debate was not welcomed. The same night, the 23rd of June 1993, this rather odd formation, affectionately known as the Mexican cyclist, started to appear. Taking 3 separate nights over 7 days, it was, to say the very least, odd. Whilst this formation was busy mutating, another Celtic cross appeared across the valley. Not far from Sisbury Ring, it was one of only 2 formations in the entirety of this area to appear in barley and not wheat. The additional satellite circle appeared 18 days later, which left us wondering whether this was part of the original formation or a completely new one. And yes, these 3 formations do just about form a straight line. This part of June 1993 was busy in this area, and the following night saw the appearance of what was known as the sperm, an oval ring with a long wiggly tail, which caused some head scratching amongst the group. The following year again saw 2 formations appear on the same night, the 6th of June. Firstly, here, a 75-foot diameter circle behind the local tip, and secondly here, a ringed circle with a centre tuft about half a mile away in the next field, but just over the hedge from the previous year's kebab. So we now have a nice number of formations appearing within the bounds of the 3,000-year-old cross dyke. Whilst talking kebabs, a second one turned up the following month, taking the 2 nights of the 14th and 15th to appear. Two weeks later, and back in the chalk pit field, 3 circles appeared, aligned due north-south. The 3 circles also accurately represented the 3 sizes of circle defined by a regular pentagram, as shown here. They also completely overlaid the area of the formation from 2 years prior. Like the previous formation in this field, if we time travel forward to 2016, the site of the offshore wind farm cable just misses it. 1996 saw a single circle appear somewhere in this area, although we don't know exactly where. So we skip to 1999, when another Celtic cross appeared on the 14th of June. Originally a single circle, the ring and 4 dislodged circles appeared the following night. Again, we can see the Roman road or water pipe clearly going underneath it. These two, 6 years apart, would have just touched each other had they been there together, and appear just outside the cross dyke. A few days later, a triangular triplet appeared in a field of barley without tram lines, so we never visited it as we didn't wish to disturb the crop. But it was the same field, the same part of the field, and the same design, albeit slightly larger, as the one from 6 years previously. So we see a real pairing of some formations in this area, as if one wasn't enough. The following year, the millennium, saw a 140-foot, 6-petaled flower appear in the very corner of this field. Just above the circle from 1994, and in the far corner of the cross dyke. 2 years after this, and daringly close to so many houses, the 3rd of June 2002 saw a ringed circle with 2 spinning arms appear. Locals reported intense bright lights over the field that night. 20 days later, this interesting convex equilateral triangle within a lattice of 3 rings appeared back near the kebab from 1993. And near several other from previous years. A year later, and the 1st of June 2003, saw us back in the field so close to houses, with a ring containing 12 arcs surrounding a ringed circle with 6 circles. At over 200 feet in total diameter, it was all laid anti-clockwise, with the exception of the outer ring, which was clockwise. It's shown in blue to distinguish it from the formation the previous year, the site of which it overlaid. In 2004 saw a 4-armed spinner appear in a field to the back of this area. While some questions were raised as to the authenticity of the near 300 feet formation, if we travel back in time, again we see that it too bordered on the site of the later wind farm cable. In 2005 saw a 180-foot diameter ringed circle back in the field surrounded on 3 sides by houses. Alongside the others from 2002 and 2003, this small area now housed 3 formations, plus an additional 2 nearby. 12 years, 5 formations, all with similar geometrical properties. The last formation to appear in this general area was again in 2005. This time, on the 17th of July, Sussex received its first 5-pointed star inside a ringed pentagram with 5 satellites. You may remember that the second pentagram was over near the Long Man of Wilmington. Here I've laid it alongside and highlighted the similar parts of both formations. It was very close to the site of the other two in this field, and others over the hedge from times gone by. Nestled within the cross dyke and the surrounding fields. And that's where it ends in Sompting. We've had nothing since 2005. Well, almost nothing. In 2020, the Lichpole estate, which owns this field, planted a maze highlighting the plight of bees. The bee was here in the middle of the maze. There's its antenna, its body, wings, and its abdomen. The maze entrance was in the centre of the field, here, opposite the temporary car park, here. So the bee in the centre of the maze was about here, flying into its crop formation hive. I spoke to the German guy who designed the maze on his computer, and he had no idea crop formations had ever appeared in this field. So just another coincidence. And there we have the Sompting triangle.